Well, hello, good evening, and welcome to the program. This is Daily Politics on Trust TV. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you most kindly for joining us. Tonight on the program, the political tension triggered by the expected defection of Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf from the NNPP to the ruling APC is still playing out, even as the state remains calm on the surface. In a surprising twist, his political benefactor, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, has now appeared to greenlight the governor's move, describing it as a necessary political step, to paraphrase, even if not one he desires. At the same time, Kwankwaso has accused the APC of putting a lot of political pressure on opposition figures across the country to force them into their ranks as we continue the build-up to 2027. Now, that mix of quiet approval and open accusation has left Kano's political base split, with Kwankwaso movement and the governor's new APC camp still trying to read the next move. On the program tonight, we'll be unpacking these issues, what they mean for Nigeria's political road ahead. And we'll be speaking with someone who understands Kano politics, and he'll be telling us a lot more about what is playing out as the suspense generates a lot of national interest. But first things first, let's bring you up to speed with the latest developments in today's politics.
Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has criticized the arrest and detention of students of Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma, calling it a sign of rising intolerance under the Tinubu administration. In a post on X on Tuesday, Atiku said the federal government acted in a high-handed manner by moving against students who protested insecurity around the campus. He said arresting peaceful protesters violates the Nigerian constitution and court rulings that protect the right to protest. There was calm but heavy security across Kano State after Governor Abba Yusuf defected from the NNPP to the APC. No official statement was issued by the governor or the state government on the defection. A formal ceremony planned to announce the move was also called off. The United States has delivered new military supplies to Nigeria to boost security cooperation between both countries. AFRICOM confirmed the handover in a post on X on Tuesday, saying the equipment was delivered to Nigerian partners in Abuja. Former Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal says he supports international involvement in Nigeria's 2027 elections if it helps deliver a credible vote. Speaking on Arise TV, Tambuwal said foreign engagement helped shape the 2015 election, which saw an opposition victory over an incumbent government.
Right, let's talk about Kano, the politics of the state and why it matters in the build-up to 2027. Our guest tonight is Sani Bello, a former Kano State governorship aspirant, who will be analyzing the developments within the NNPP as well as what is playing out ahead of the expected defection of Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf to join the APC. Thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you this evening.
Thank you very much, Abdullahi.
Right.
I'm grateful to be with you today.
Right, let's start this way. Your takeaway from what appears to be the breaking news of the day. Kwankwaso nudging his support for what appears to be inevitable, that Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf is going to rejoin the APC family in Kano.
Well, أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على نبي الكريم أما بعد. It's kind of a shake-up from what political reviewers and all lookers have been anticipating and have been expecting. The purported move of the executive governor of Kano State, Alhaji Abba Kabir Yusuf, into the folds of the APC has been in the offing for a very long time, despite the fact that his mentor, Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, has chided the move and he has opposed it on several grounds, on several fronts, at numerous instances. And he has even at one time called it a betrayal of trust. And that even if the governor has decided that he is eventually going to move, that he's advising him to vacate the seat of the executive governor of Kano State and then move on empty-handed. as you will say. But it baffles me and it surprises me that somebody of the stature of His Excellency, the former governor of Kano State, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, will utter such a suggestion to anyone, bearing in mind the fact that in 2014 he defected while being a member of the PDP, having contested an election on the platform of the PDP, having got the popular mandate to govern the state on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. He defected from the party and moved to the All Progressive Congress, at that time the opposing political party. So for him at this juncture now to recommend or advise somebody to vacate his seat because he's the campaign is scrupulous and uncalled for.
And how would you describe what is playing out in public? This almost unbelievable fallout between Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf and his political benefactor, godfather. I don't know. There are so many adjectives you can use to describe their relationship.
Well, it's not something that is unbelievable. It's something that is quite expected. It's something that should have come a long time ago, because being the executive governor of a state means that you have the levers to operate freely without interference. But it will suffice to state at this juncture that at the time in Kano State, monies were being withdrawn from the coffers of the state government without the notice or approval of the executive governor. And he said he said it out verbatim himself. For instance, there are two cases here to cite. There is the Novotim, which is alleged to be promoted by the younger brother of the former governor of Kano State, in the person of Garba Kwankwaso, who is a immediate sibling of Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, where 10 million naira was deducted from each local government of the 44 local government area councils of Kano State, amounting to a total of 440 million. And that said amount has been deducted for a period over a year and 3 months, which amounted to over 6 billion naira, which the governor came out, told the public that he isn't aware of those deductions. And there is also an instance where an approval was given for 1,000 and something
allegedly
plus. Well, it couldn't be allegedly, because the governor said it himself.
Yeah, I mean allegedly, because no one has been convicted of a crime yet.
Nobody has been convicted of a crime because it has not been taken to court. It hasn't been investigated because the governor doesn't want to fall out with his benefit. But he has said it. Right. He said it. So if we say allegedly, then we mean we're alleging that the governor said it or not. But the governor has said it. So there is nothing like an allegation based on this statement. The governor made it. It was widely circulated on national dailies and radio stations that he approved for 1,000+ students to be flown abroad to further their education. But at the end of the day, only 300 were flown abroad to further their education. Where did the remaining money go to? These are several instances. When it comes to the appointment of commissioners, executive directors, chairman of boards, managing directors of parastatals in the state, he never had a hand in it. When it came to the local government election, he never had a hand in it. His hands were completely washed off, and he didn't have a say. So for somebody to exercise restraint...
You're describing a situation that can be read in so many ways, can be interpreted in so many ways. One could be that the governor is dealing with an overbearing political godfather.
Yes.
The other one could also be interpreted to mean that the governor is incompetent, because you cannot excuse that kind of behavior where orders, directives, official directives are not being followed, and the governor is just raising his hand saying, I don't know anything about it.
Of course, it will be kind of unfair at this juncture to label the governor as being incompetent.
I'm saying the situation describes...
The two scenarios, of course, they are playing out correctly as you have described them. But it would be unfair for us to, at this juncture in time, to say, okay, the governor is incompetent, because, one, the fear of the godfather, the fear of the movement, the ascorbic statements that come from followers could be threatening enough for somebody that does not have the absolute tenacity and guts to face, will shy away from facing such things, such incidences. The governor has been stifled. The governor has been tied up. He has been boxed in a corner. And now he is almost at the edge of having some fresh air to breathe. Because by the time he defects...
politically or administratively?
Both, administratively and politically. He is now maybe at the verge of establishing his own person. Because one of the problems that we have had in this country is that governance revolves around personality instead of around institutions. That's why we have been having failed projects. That's why we have been having abandoned projects all over. That's why we have lacked continuity. We have lacked focus. One policy after the other. Just take an instance. The same government from the same political party, but different political views, different policies, different administration mechanisms. If we have built institutions that governance revolves around and not the personalities that occupy a certain executive office, I think we would have fared pretty better off than what we are facing now.
In a nutshell, would you describe this speculated defection or expected, to a certain degree, expected defection of Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf to the APC, an attempt to escape the shadow of Kwankwaso?
Absolutely. I will describe it as that. Because we have, this is the same scenario that has played in Rivers State. And when the governor decided to exert his authority, you saw what happened. A state of emergency was imposed by the federal government. And the same scenario plays out in some states of the federation. You go and take a look at what is happening in Sokoto when the governor cannot commission anything without his benefactor being there. He cannot pick a pen without his benefactor being there. And anything the benefactor wants is said and done. And it's the same scenario that is playing out in Kano. And it's something that would not leave the executive governors occupying the offices presently with much comfort. If they have their own ambitions, they have their own aspirations, they have their own thoughts, and they have their own direction that they think they need to take the state to. They want to leave a legacy behind. Nobody will continue to stoop and subscribe to such interferences.
What about the people of Kano? Because they have for quite some time become the linchpin that gives credibility to any political movement or any political party or even a politician for that matter. What is their stake in this tug of war that is playing out, you think?
Well, their stake is they are going to lose some and they are going to win some. They are going to lose some in the sense that the governor is going to lose focus for a while until all this dust is settled. And they are going to win in the sense that they will have the deciding position come 2027 at the general elections. They are going to now have their final say and say, okay, what happened is something that we are okay with, or say, okay, what happened is not something that we're much comfortable with, so find your way and we're replacing you with somebody else. Because Kano is a state that is known for making its choices when the time to make such choices are on the offer.
Going by what happened in 2019, how close the election was, especially at the gubernatorial level, and what played out in 2023 when eventually Abba Kabir Yusuf or the NNPP got over the hump, it does look like there is a lot of arguments that have been made about APC as a brand being too unpopular in Kano. Is that a political risk for Governor Abba Kabir to associate with a brand that might not necessarily be popular with the voters in Kano? You see,
the APC brand is a brand that is tattered, battered, and has tanked any aspect of social life in this country. In 2019, we were in the same political party with Abba Kabir Yusuf. We participated in the same primaries. I came second to him and I challenged his victory up to the Supreme Court. That said and done, now presently and heading towards the 2027 election, there isn't anything to oppose this government about, because there isn't a single thing that you can pick and vouch for this government that it has tried. If you look at the economy, it's in tatters. If you look at security, it has worsened up. If you look at the psychological state of affair of even the people in the country, they are worse off than they have ever been. Nigerians have never had it so bad as they are having it right now. So I don't know his political calculations, and I don't know what his advisors are telling him, but he's taken a hike between the Red and the Blue Sea. And I don't know which dive he's going to take. Is it going to be to the blue, or is it going to be to the red? Only time can tell. But absolutely, the APC brand is a brand that Nigerians are fed up with. The expectations that Nigerians had about the APC as a party and the APC as a government, they have been disappointed, terribly disappointed.
And in your reading of what is playing out in Kano, for instance, politically, do you think the minds of the people who voted for him, especially because of the platform that he's coming from, the Kwankwaso movement itself, being the key factor for his popularity, for his acceptance, how much of that is he going to lose if he joins the APC?
The people of Kano did not vote for Abba Kabir Yusuf based on the platform that he emerged on, or based on the person who promoted him. The people of Kano voted for Abba Kabir Yusuf because they wanted a change from the status quo that was in place at that time. The land grab issues, so many nasty financial misconducts that were heard here and there. And absolutely, the people now come to realize that, in fact, what they threw out seems to even have looked better than what they have brought in. And so a lot
Are you
remains to be desired.
dismissing or even minimizing the role of the Kwankwaso movement in the grand scheme of things?
The role of the Kwankwaso movement, how many people are allegedly members of the Kwankwaso movement? We have a population of over 20 million people in Kano State. So a fraction of that, maybe a fraction of, let's say, 2-3%, who would actually be called or described or ascribed to the Kwankwaso movement, cannot be the deciding factor. There are lots of people that have desires, that have concerns about the way the state is being governed, and when it comes to the election time during the polls, they make their choices and they make their decisions. We are all political canvassers, and at the end of the day, the decision remains with the electorate.
Does the governor have his own people politically? Does he have a base that is outside of the Kwankwaso movement?
Of course,
itself?
absolutely.
At what point did he develop that base?
Absolutely. To be fair and candid on this matter, there is no way somebody will be a gubernatorial candidate of a platform of a political party like the PDP in 2019, all the build-up to the run-up to the 2023 election, and you say, okay, this guy has not pitched some of his people that he will ascribe to himself as being his. And that was one of the issues that also played out during the local government election, because there were people that don't know Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, that know Abba Kabir Yusuf.
Really?
Yes.
In Kano?
Yes, in Kano. They don't know Rabiu Musa.
There are people who don't know Kwankwaso in Kano.
Don't know Kwankwaso as a political benefactor, as somebody that they can associate with politically. They are loyal to Abba. They know Abba. They associate with Abba. They can call Abba on the phone and discuss one or two things with him. But all of them were shut out. They were shut out of all the political positions that were available to be handed over to loyalists, and all of them went to the loyalists of Kwankwaso.
Is this what this is about? A rebellion against Kwankwaso's influence on the Abba administration?
Let me not continue to speak on behalf of Abba.
I'm asking you to give us your own educated understanding of the situation.
Absolutely. My own understanding of the whole scenario, it's like karma is catching up at the end of the day. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso was promoted by the likes of Senator Hamisu Musa, Musa Gwadebe of the blessed memory, Alhaji Abubakar Rimi. How did they end up with these people? It isn't a pleasant story. It's not a story that somebody will start ditching on the media outlets for national consumption. But at the end of the day, one of the things that is clearly known, which was even said by the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, was that Kwankwaso approached him that he wants him to remove Musa Gwadebe from the ministerial position he was occupying at that time. And in fact, at one point in time, he made it a condition for him to support President Olusegun Obasanjo for the 2023 elections.
In 2003.
2003 elections, sorry, pardon me. So, and you can understand clearly, just recently, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, something that has never been heard of, something that I have never heard of, maybe you have heard of something like that. Somebody coming out to categorically set a caveat that any political party he is going to join has to be prepared to either give him the presidential ticket or the vice presidential ticket. Have you ever heard something like that? This is too selfish.
Are you asking him to deny his own ambition?
I'm not asking him to deny his own ambition, but what about the democratic process? What is democracy? People having the right to exercise their own franchise.
Right,
so
and
what
people
he's
have
saying
also
is
politically a right to make demands.
Right to make demands, but not demands that will shelve demands of others. It's like shutting the door on any other person. General Muhammadu Buhari joined the APC in 2014. He didn't place a demand that the APC has to give him the presidential ticket. He went through a primaries, which Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso himself participated in and even came second. Atiku Abubakar participated in that same primaries. Sam Inda Isaiah participated in that primaries. So what he is saying now is any political party that he is going to join must be ready to slaughter democracy on the slaughter slab.
I mean, some would say that's a bit extreme, isn't it?
It's not extreme.
I mean, these are just conditionalities. Plus, there's also the aspect that Kwankwaso has become somewhat of a bride to the APC and to the emerging coalition on the platform of the ADC. So he's in a very sweet position where he can afford to negotiate what he wants.
Thank God you haven't made mention of my own political party, the PDP, because we believe he will be a cancerous effect.
Some would say your party is in the gutters right now.
No. We'll pull it out of the gutters. No problem. We know we are. All of the problems we are facing are state-crafted, they are state-instigated, they are state-instituted. So no problem about that. We'll face it up, and we're facing it up. We have a leadership that is up to task, a leadership that we can trust, a leadership that is credible enough, and that the national chairmanship of His Excellency Kabiru Tanimu Taraki, SAN, we have all confidence in his administration, in his leadership, that he will be able to pull us out of the gutters that you have ascribed us to be in. But let me tell you this. As we speak now, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is going to be toxic to any political platform he eventually decides to join. Because one, Atiku Abubakar joined the ADC without a caveat. Peter Obi joined the ADC without a caveat. Nasir El-Rufai joined the ADC without a caveat. Amin Waziri Tambol joined the ADC without a caveat. Some of them have profiles that are higher than that of Kwankwaso. If you take Atiku Abubakar, he has been a serial presidential candidate. He has even been able to garner 7 million votes in the last election. Peter Obi garnered over 6 million votes in the last election. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso garnered only 1 million votes, and 90% of those votes were from Kano state. So he has only one state to vouch for. These are
you being disingenuous by belittling his political currency?
Of course. What's the political currency? Kano?
Not many people could get 1.9 million votes.
1.9 million votes. He didn't get 1.9 million votes. He got 1 point something million votes. I think 1.140 million votes. A little above 1 million votes. And he hasn't even outperformed Malam Aminu Kano, who in the 1979 elections, despite the fact that Kano had lesser registered voters, secured 2 million votes from Kano. So if we are talking about political capital, sometimes you have to shelve your political capital in the interest of national harmony, in the interest of securing political victory. Now, his statements has led to the former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar in the ADC, right from Dubai, sending the signal that nobody is going to withdraw for anybody. There will be primaries, and anybody that wins the primaries will go for the... So if such toxic statements can start to bring some differences within the rank and files of a political party, is it going to spell doom for the political party, or is it going to spell success for the political party? I believe it's going to be the latter.
So, in the North, for instance, if you have to pick the topmost political figures, right, who either command the political dynamics playing out, or who have the following, where would you place Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso? If you have to give me a top 2 or top 3, for instance.
A top 2 or top 3?
Right.
Well, if I give you a top 2 or top 3, there are lots of considerations that are put into play. Is he on the list? No, he's not on the list.
Rabi Musa Kwankwaso is not on the list.
He is not on my
top
list.
3 politicians.
Top 3 politicians in
the north.
No, he is not. On my list, he is not.
So who are those people on your list?
Well, I can tell you Atiku Abubakar is one of them.
Right.
And then I can tell you Nasir El-Rufai is one of them. And of course, I can tell you Malam Ibrahim Shekaru is one of them.
You put Malam Nasir El-Rufai, Ibrahim Shekaru above
absolutely, because these are people that can commandeer respect. These are people that can discuss ideas on any platform, anywhere in the world, and you will not be disappointed.
Talk to me about what this defection means for Kwankwaso's future, because it does look like the golden goose that he has, which is control of Kano on the NNPP, is coming to an end. He's going to lose that. What does that mean for his political future?
Well, he has wanted to use Kano as his goose bearer and a springboard to launch him into national politics. He has always looked into the direction of Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as his role model, and he has wanted to tie his politics around that, seeing that Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in to govern Lagos State in 1999 and then up to 2003, and he has successfully succeeded in maintaining who is in charge in the state, and used the Lagos State as a springboard to dominate the southwestern part of the country. But Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, since leaving office, hasn't been able to do that. I think in the last elections he was able to garner about, is it 10,000 votes from Jigawa or something like that? I can't remember. And I think it would be a big loss for him. And he is definitely right now licking his wounds.
But what about the movement in respect of what it means for the APC in Kano? Because there is also a concern that with Governor Abba Kabir joining, if he eventually joins, as has been speculated over the last couple of weeks, he shuts out a lot of people who are also interested in contesting that particular position. Is there a chance that the APC could implode because of the governor's defection?
Well, I hope it does, because we'll be the biggest beneficiaries of such implosion. And there is a possibility that that could happen, because politics is all about interests, but these interests should be managed within the context of popular opinion. And I think there will be a lot of ranks and files that would be broken, and there will be a lot of bridges that will collapse. Absolutely.
And you talk about your disagreements with Kwankwaso's political ideology in practice, but he has also alluded to how the APC as a ruling party is applying a lot of pressure on opposition figures to join their ranks. These people who are joining the APC are not necessarily joining it out of the goodness of their hearts or the conviction that the APC is a part of the solution.
The APC can never be a part of the solution, because, as I have told you, there are some certain cardinal characters or criteria that ensures a free, fair and credible election. And up till now, I haven't seen anything on the horizon that indicates us in the direction that we are going to have a free, fair and credible election, despite the fact that not having a free, fair and credible election will also have its own consequences on the country itself. You see, if you look at it, the Independent National Electoral Commission, which is supposed to be the electoral body, needs to be credible, unbiased, competent, and not influenced by either political pressure or government pressure. Political pressure as in political party of the ruling governing party or the government of the day. That is one. There has to be an enabling environment where people will exercise their civic franchise freely. That is not available in, maybe, if you take a rough estimate, about 20% of the northern part of the country. There are crises. People are mass migrating in so many areas in Sokoto State. There are crises in Zamfara State. There are crises in Borno State. There are crises in Niger, Kaduna State, of recent Kwara, Kogi, Edo State, Plateau has been on the burner for a while, and that is going to impair people's ability to exercise their franchise.